Okay, hi. I'm Tamsin Rachel. I I work as an intuitive coach, and I work with people on something called higher self conversations. And in these conversations, we uh, we work to access the highest level of consciousness and the highest level of awareness, to talk about and explore topics, themes, or those things that we want to see more of or less of in our lives. So for today's talk, we're going to look at the energies and strategies for 2024. And I'm going to be bringing through any information that is available here and now to help us, the attendees of the summit and the wider audience, in best keeping ourselves balanced, in line, um, living our lives on purpose and living with love in 2024. So first of all, I'll just start by talking a little and seeing what is here now, and then I will invite whoever's here with us to ask questions, and I'll bring through any information that comes to come to us now. So just starting, first of all, just looking at what the energies of 2024 are. And you'll notice I'll kind of like open and close my eyes as I am accessing information. So in terms of the energies for 2024 and what we can, something around what we can expect to see and experience in this year, what we're seeing really consistently being told to us is that in 2024, there'll be a huge amount of opening up, a huge amount of possibility, and significant changes. And those changes will be both internal and external. So, in terms of externally, we will see an acceleration of the breaking down and reconfiguring and restructuring of some of the larger structures that hold that act as a framework for holding in place those sort of day-to-day manifestations that we see in our lives, whether that's sort of government or education or health services, and the way in which things are organized. So we'll see some significant changes in how these broader elements are played out in our lives. And at the same time, we'll also see a lot of increase in flexibility in terms of the way that people are thinking about solutions. And so really sort of matching this overall feeling of things needing to change, and large organizations and large structures changing, we'll see that will be matched by people's creativity and desire to build better solutions and better infrastructures and better solutions to the sort of day-to-day element of our physical lives and how we live day to day. So on the one hand, there'll be a lot of change, and on the other hand, there'll be a lot of a greater access to greater creativity and greater resourcefulness in dealing with these changes that are occurring. And in some ways, it's quite reminiscent to some of the energy that was present when COVID was going on, when we had COVID-19, and we had a lot of people becoming extremely creative very quickly, rapidly finding solutions that just work a lot better for for people. So this is very encouraging. At the same time, there will be some feelings of discomfort and naturally fear, because we're all humans, more or less, on this planet, and this this time of great change, which is clearly evident around us if we look at the news and we look at goings on and we look at even just things that are happening in our day-to-day life. We can see that great change is occurring, and these changes can feel uncomfortable and destabilizing for people. And what is wanted to be known about that is that that there really is a matching in our capacity. The reason why these changes are occurring now is because there really has been a sort of upgrade or an increase in ability to match the times with our with expanded consciousness, with greater awareness, and with more creative solutions that are better in line with helping humans to live more joyfully and more in community with one another, more happily as a human race. So that is to be remembered, and also to just notice in yourselves that that you have this greater capacity to deal with challenges and to use those things that have worked well for you, and possibly even to sort of go back a little and think, actually, when COVID was going on and things were particularly difficult, what helped me then? And to re-include some of those things back in your daily life. So it might be the way you connected with people. It might be how you spent more time with people physically in person in your local area or your home environment. And there is a definite reminder to include more time spent in face-to-face interaction, and to spend more time in physical connection, both with other people and also with your natural environment. So I'm just going to pause a second there, because I've moved on to some of the strategies, and I just want to just go in and just see if there's anything else in terms of the general energies. Yeah, so really the message is that 2024 energies are around there being a sort of a shake-up and an increase in change and restructuring, and also that this is tallied with an increase in ability to match these changes. And actually, COVID-19 and that period of time did a good job of putting in place some habits and changes that will that can be built on, and it can be quite helpful to go back and remember some things that helped you in those times. So now, just moving on to strategies, and what will be most helpful for us in 2024, what will help us to keep grounded and balanced. And of course, the first thing is to think that having a goal of feeling balanced and centered would be a good goal to have in mind. That where you are seeking balance in your life, so for example, if you were looking at your business in the period of 2024, this would be a good time to build into your business anything that helps you feel stable and secure. So that might, for example, to be that you have a monthly meeting with others who are also small business owners, so that you have that sense of community and connection. It might be that you go back to offering some services or products that you've offered in the past that you sort of felt like, oh, I've kind of grown out of that, or that's not really my area anymore. But in fact, it is an area in which you have a lot of skill and ability, and also possibly existing clients or easy potential for business. It's like low hanging fruit. So there is an element of going back to strategies that I've worked in the past that just give you a sort of a platform or a foundation or a sense of I've got this, I can do this, in my sleep. Like I spent 15 years doing this, kind of gave it up, moved on to something else, but actually that could really help me now to feel supported. Um, it could be really small things like going back to a recipe that you always used to make that is really comforting and quick and easy, and you just kind of got out of the habit of doing it. Or perhaps a yoga class or a meditation or a book you always used to read, anything that has really offered you that sort of like that feeling of like a pillar of strength and support, to focus on re-including that in your life at this time. Yes, so overall, we're looking for balance, in an inner sense of having a solid platform to stand on. So in terms of other areas of your life, you might look at your finances. Is there something that gives you more of a sense of security, that helps you feel, whether that's kind of like doing something like going back to putting money into an ISA, or doing something you haven't necessarily done for a while. Also to remember to spend some time doing those very simple things that you love. So one of the things that Tamsin has been doing recently is playing Yahtzee, a dice game with one of her, it's like a family game with one of her children, and something we haven't done really for a few years, but I've been doing this with my middle son every day recently, and it's really just like a really simple way of reconnecting with him and having a daily kind of connection point. Yeah, and Tamsin has also started playing Monopoly, which she hasn't played for maybe, I don't think that I've opened a Monopoly board for maybe 10, like at least 10 years. So going back to some of these trusted old things that you may have enjoyed in your childhood, or just in another period of time in your life, these will be things that would be really supportive at this time. So we're looking for balance, we're looking for those things that we know work or have worked for us in the past. Yeah, okay, that's sort of like the main theme of what's coming through for now. So um, Tamsin's just kind of bringing herself back to here and now. Really, overall, there's a lot of opportunity in 2024. It really might feel quite uncomfortable at times. It feels like energetically it will be quite a big year. And just know that there's been an expansion in the awareness, in the capacity, in the consciousness of humanity. And this is why these external events are occurring. We are now well matched with this new paradigm. We're in a place where all those things that we've done, some of which we may have abandoned or forgotten about, are sort of embodied within us, and it does bring us to a place where we're able to really make some really huge changes that will really hugely benefit humanity, and also, of course, you know, planet Earth and humans are part of a greater um, thing, for want of a better word, and that this is uh, expanding throughout the whole universe. So I don't know if anyone has any questions or reflections, or also um, just the experience of hearing, because I'm sort of in a different state. It's just also hearing that information coming through, and just the experience of receiving this is also something that's quite interesting to think about, how that feels, and knowing that we all have access to this kind of um, higher levels of awareness and consciousness, and that these ideas and thoughts are all just sort of around us in the ether, and we can all connect to what's really happening on a deeper level at any point in time. So thank you for listening, and I don't know if anyone has any questions or anything they would like to share.
I just love the Yahtzee, you know, that simplicity. I totally get that at the moment. Being childish, I'm doing that more with my daughter who's 12, just 12,
Mm.
and just, you know, being silly, embarrassing her, but she loves it really, you know, skipping and
Mm.
doing things I shouldn't be doing at my age. But yeah, I love that reminder because I really feel that that is, well, you know, the simplicity, the joy, the childlikeness. So yeah, thank you for that reminder.
Yeah, I think there's something really important about simplicity, that we have that sort of in our daily lives and in our just our real day-to-day experience, because the outside world is really quite chaotic and complex. And so having that balanced off by having some of these simple things, like for me, it's like buying like roses and just having flowers and having some home cooked foods. It's just going back to some of that. It's also very grounding. It's also really brings you into the moment. And that's really the most effective strategy for everything and anything, is to be, you know, like really be here, be present, be as
Yeah,
open as possible to the, you know, this moment right now.
yeah, because it really is all we've got. But it's just such a, I mean, everyone tells you that, don't they? And but it's, yeah, it's remembering that and being in it, you know, that's sometimes tricky to be just present.
Totally. And also, what I love about that, this thing that you're talking about being present, and also many of the other things that everyone will have been talking about in this summit, or will think about as we're sort of like thinking of, you know, ways of improving our daily life, is that nearly all these things are skills. It's just so brilliant. They're skills. Skills can be
Mm,
practiced. So, yeah, just the more reminders that we have about being present. And I had a wonderful reminder from Patrick a couple of days ago about, we had a talk, and we were talking about those kind of really, really challenging moments where it's really hard to really think that anything positive could possibly be coming from the present situation that you're in. It just seems like unimaginable. And yeah, and Patrick had reminded me just the day before about that, this it's always a choice. And it's just hearing the message over and over again. It's
Yeah.
just hearing it like, you know, I really remember when I first started training as a coach, like however many years ago it was. And I was like, wow, every moment is a choice. Like I sort of knew that, but I also didn't know it in my body. I didn't really believe it or really understand it. And I think it's just practice. It's a skill to be present in the moment. It's a skill to be more aware. It's a skill to develop your intuition. And happily, there are more and more avenues and reminders. Even just silly things like when you go into a cafe and it will have, they'll have a cool poster up that reminds you, like, you know, be
Yeah.
happy or be here now, or, something like that. So we are seeing more of it. And the more we see it in our external reality, the more we're doing that work internally.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. And also, I mean, I just want to share that at the moment for me, um, there's part of my brain, I've been very, very present for quite a long time and really practicing and really, putting effort in. And now so I'm really kind of being happy with that. And then suddenly, whatever ego structure, whatever's coming in is like, no, da, 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 da," and I'm like, what? Go
Mm,
away, go away. So it's
yeah.
really interesting how all of these systems, these operating systems, and however you want to call them, can really kind of come in, and you've just got to be patient.
Well, also, it's actually bizarrely, it's a really good sign that it's come back. So it's like it's come back. And the reason why it's come back is because I'm giving myself another chance. I'm giving myself another opportunity to get present, have my awareness, and choose. So I've got
Yeah,
this thing has come back, and that's why these things keep coming around. It's like, I keep doing the same stupid thing. What's the matter with me? I keep,
I know.
ooh, it's another chance. And like, we like to like let 20 chances come and be like, yeah, I kind of know I wasn't supposed to do that silly thing. But we do
So
it and we're
true.
like, you phone a friend and say like, oh my God, I'm so stupid. I just did that really stupid thing again. But all it means is that it's kind of like sinking deeper and deeper.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so yeah, I mean, obviously there are plenty of times where you're in that situation and you're like, you don't think, oh, this is so wonderful. I get to choose again. And, and at some point, you do get to realize that I really do get to choose again.
yeah, yeah. Really testing our resolve and our trust in ourselves.
And also remembering that we never go back to the point that we're at before, when we have that feeling of like, I feel like I'm going backwards. I feel like I'm just like, here I am again. It's like, no, you're not there again. It's all kind of like,
Mm,
going around like this. And it's not linear. Life is not linear. Nothing in life is linear. So we're just kind of like choosing like which kind of reality am I going to snap onto? Am I going to snap myself onto the one where I've made the choice that really I prefer at a higher level?
mm, yeah, yeah,
Which I feel like is an encouraging thing, because it can feel very cyclical or circular or whatever the word is. It can feel like it's coming back around
yeah,
again. And knowing that it needs to come around in order for us to move through it. It needs to come
yeah,
around until it's done with coming around,
yeah,
and that it can take a few goes, or that this process is part of coming through it. Is the You got to go through it.
yeah. So it's having that self-compassion, isn't it, I suppose, as well, to know that you're not failing at it, that it's just like you said, it's evolution. It's like
Natural.
a yeah,
Mm.
yeah, rather than going,
Well, also, I think it's a misperception or a misunderstanding of the process to judge when we judge ourselves and when we're not compassionate. we're actually just kind of missing the point. We just didn't
Mm.
really, it's like you did not understand the assignment.
Yeah, that's a really good way of putting it. I'm gonna give myself a gold star.
I think, yeah, I think that's always there's never a time when it's not good to give yourself a gold star.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Thanks, Katie.
I'll just quickly add, I thought it's really interesting that that focus on skills, which I think is very much where I find myself now, is there just a number of skills that need to be honed and developed over a period of time. I was listening to a talk earlier about focus and the importance of focus and how focus is also a skill, and as is distraction, and how very often we practice distraction, but we might not practice focus in the same way. So what is it like when we start practicing these things and we start honing our craft and we really start tuning into all that is possible and knowing that these are skills that are universal and that are accessible to anyone. The idea of being present, this is something that anyone can do. Intuition, this is something that anyone can do. Focus, this is something that anyone can do. So really that sense of there's something fundamentally human. It's like our skill set of being human versus our unique skills and our unique talents and abilities, which are also there and also true and fed by also this like universal, it's like a universal skill set.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite interesting that there are, these sort of characteristics that are inbuilt in the sort of being human, and what we're seeing is that um, these things that we've seen as like the character of being a human, or what it means to be a human, or how humans are, is really changing. And I know, like, sort of a generation or two behind me, this idea people don't change is really a solid belief. People don't change. Like my dad would say that and stand 100% by it. Um, and this is part of the general raising of consciousness, that is absolutely and fundamentally, uh, untrue. That people not only change and not only transform, but that there are complete quantum shifts. And 1 minute it's a rabbit, and 1 minute it is not a rabbit. All to say that this is very encouraging, and it's really anchoring into that feeling of, I suppose it's a little bit like when you kind of like graduate a class, or you go into the next level, or you get the next job up, and you're like, oh, right, okay, gosh, I have to do this now. And I have to do this. And it's like, you get to do this now because of the work that you've put in. And so we are getting to experience more and more. And that is due to the progress that has been made, by humanity as a collective. Even if you look at the news and see that terrible things are happening, even if you look at, things which seem hard to understand or be with. And I also find it really encouraging looking at young people, and seeing how much more aware they are, and how much less sort of BS they are willing to put up with. And this is coming through right now. Did anyone have any questions they wanted to ask, that I would like ask? So I'm just asking the question, like, what would help all of us, you know, who are here and listening, and also just all of us in general right now. And what I'm getting is the importance of really the connections that we have with other people, and how supportive this is, and how good it is for us when we connect with other people who really have our best interest at heart, and they can help us to remove some of those those silly ideas that we can think about ourselves or our lives, and how helpful it is at this time to be in regular contact with people who aren't afraid to sort of like call you out on your BS and your rubbish and say, well, hang on a minute, you know, like, is that really true? And those people who really have your best interest at heart. And something else that's really been present recently, or message I keep hearing, is the importance of connecting with the land, with the earth, with the planet, with nature, whether that's with animals or whether that's sort of really in a real physical way with your body, whether that is through swimming in water or walking through a forest, or just looking up at the night sky and seeing the stars, being conscious of the foods that we're eating, to really ground and locate ourselves. I really love this. I have this image often in my mind of the London Underground map, and it's the huge map, and it says, "You are here." And that's a really helpful kind of like, oh, well, you know, what's going on? Where am I? And to just say, hang on a minute, where am I right now? And to just kind of like lock on to, you know, I'm here, I'm in this place. And to just notice, to take the time to notice your physical environment, and really very specifically what you might call nature, or the planet, or that which comes from nature, or our planet and our greater universe, galactic kind of like experience. Yeah, so 2024 is a time of positive change that at times will feel confusing and chaotic, and yeah, and just we know that in every moment we get to choose what is the that's funny. I think the postman is trying to deliver. It's like more stuff is trying to be delivered into into my home than will fit in the letterbox. So yeah, all that kind of like abundance, and all those beautiful, simple things that we want, that we've always wanted, are becoming more and more available. And as we connect back to those simple things in our lives that we want, it will really help with the greater building of these sort of bigger structures and organizations and systems that we all really ultimately need to help us live more harmoniously together, and on our planet and in our solar system, galaxy, universe, and whatever else is out there beyond that, which has already been discovered, which is so enormous that apparently it couldn't exist. Because as we know, the universe is always expanding, and so are we. So I'm going to say thank you, and I'm just going to close my connection to this topic that we've been talking about, and I'm going to say thank you. Okay, thank you, Andrea. Thank you for this opportunity to talk about these things today.
And thank you, Tamsin, for this experience. For anyone who doesn't know Tamsin or me yet, this is kind of conversation we have quite regularly, and we really use it for even just small everyday situations. Sometimes it's just so good to check in with this other knowing what's going on, what's happening. Am I on the right journey? Am I making the right decisions? I feel like I want to do this, but can I just check in with you? So that's something what is really helping not only both of us, but to our community, friends, clients, and just keep waiting, looking for the information which are coming, because there are coming really great things this year. One thing is because that's the energy and strategies for this year, but also all the speakers on this summit, because this was the last live session of the summit. All of the speakers are bringing more and more beautiful things. So you will hear from us throughout the year, and there is loads of things to look forward to. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Tamsin.
Thank you, Andrea. And also just to say how lovely it is, just as the summit is sort of coming towards a close, that Andrea and I have talked about this summit she first mentioned it to me many months ago, and what joy there is in seeing someone else's idea come to fruition, and just knowing that, like, behind the scenes, there's always been all sorts of ups and downs and worries and excitements and all that comes with really birthing something, like bringing it into the physical world, like bringing it through from this like idea, and then just like having to kind of like pull it down through your body, like out through your guts, and then birth it and be like, ah.
And it's here. And as Patrick was talking about the mountain in the previous session, that's what two of you and Patrick and Slash, of course, you were part of that mountain for me, because you were on that way with me from the very beginning. So thank you. Thank you. Thank to every and each of you who are here on this call and in the whole summit container. This was amazing journey. We talked through all those months about all the shifts which happened in our individual lives. It was amazing. We talked about Joyride, even though for many of us it was really quite difficult. But I think it's more than worthwhile for every one of us. So thank you. Thank you, and see you next year. There is the information already out in the higher spheres that we are doing it again next year. So see you there. Thank you, and bye for now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.